Hi everybody, happy February. It's great to be back with you guys. Again, my name is Amanda. I'm an actor and artist in Los Angeles, former Michigander. And today I'm going to be making a couple projects with you guys that use things that we've all been accumulating, especially over the last year. So cardboard boxes that you don't plan on using for other projects or storing things because we will be cutting them up. And everybody has that big Ziploc bag full of wine corks. I've been saving them for years, and friends give them to me because they know that I'll use them for things like I make little Christmas trees and pumpkins and different things throughout the year, place card holders. There's endless possibilities with them. Today we're going to be making something a little more February themed. So I'm doing a heart, but you can do any shape you want. You can do a star, you can do a cross, you can do letters, which I will show you an example of. But basically we're going to take a cardboard box, lay it out flat, deconstruct it and lay it out flat, and then whatever shape you're going to be doing, just trace it out with about how big you want it. This is a little bigger. It's going to go up on a wall, but you can put it on a table display. You can, you know, mix it up and mix it up with sizes. If you don't have very many corks and you don't want to get more, scale it down a little bit. This is about a 10-inch by 9-inch, but I went ahead and cut it ahead of time. Here's my heart shape, and that's going to be the base. So that's for project 1. Project 2, we're going to use a cardboard backing as well, but we're going to make some coasters. So cut wine corks. I will show you how to do that, but I will throw a list up here on all the materials that you're going to need for each project. Take your time, get them together, and then we will get going. So I'm using about 100 wine corks for mine again. So gather them all throughout the house. If you need to just get one more, go ahead and crack open a bottle to get that last cork. So I will put the list up and then we will start going. So as I mentioned before, we're gonna cut our shape out of the cardboard. And I used an X-Acto knife for mine, but you can use scissors, whatever you prefer. But I just traced it out in pencil, cut it out. It's okay if it has rough edges. You're not really gonna see it because we're gonna be putting the wine corks on top. So get your hot glue gun ready because you're gonna need that the most. And please, please, please be careful. I got a few burns in the process as I was prepping this project. So be careful, safety first. Have your backup wine, not wine corks. I mean, yes, but glue sticks. They're next to the corks. Get some extra glue sticks and we're gonna start going on that. So once you have your shape, just start doing little dabs of glue on the bottom of your corks and sticking them on. They're going to be sticking up like this. An example that I wanted to show you real quick of the letters that I made a couple years back for our wedding. They're pretty massive. I had to collect corks from a lot of other people to be able to do them, but they have a cardboard backing and that's what it looks like from the side. They stand up. I was able to do A and B, Amanda and Bryce. And those were at our sign-in table for the wedding. So you can do this large scale, you can do a small scale, but letters are very popular. But as I said, we're going to just stick to the February theme right now with a heart. Later, after we've glued all of them and it's dried, I want you to grab the paint that I listed in the things that you're gonna need, and we're gonna do an ombre pattern on it. So I'll teach you how to do that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just start gluing. All right, so we are done with the gluing process. I would show you what it looked like, but I went ahead and painted mine and I thought I hit record, but I didn't. So I'm going to just walk you through what I did. So you should have everything secure. It should be pretty dry to do this part, but grab a paintbrush, paper plate, or just something that you can put paint on. You could even use scrap cardboard. Grab a white paint. It can be any kind of craft paint. And I'm using a pink, but you can use any color you want. You can do green, blue, you could do a purple to keep it in that February, you know, Valentine's theme. You could also do it like a black and white and do a grayscale. That would be really cool. But for this, pink and white. That's all you need. So put it on your plate. You got your white, your pink. Start with the dark. That's what I did, is at the bottom, I did a couple rows where I just painted the tops of the corks in that pink. And then on my plate, I took some of the pink aside and I added just a little bit of white. That made it for the next shade. So I did a couple rows of the next color, added a little more white to the pink, did another couple rows, and then almost completely white at the top. So let me show you what the palette ends up looking like. So you can see I started with this pink color, a little darker. This was the next one, added a little bit of white, and then whatever pink was left on my brush, I just used that with white, and it gave for a very, very light pink. You can almost barely see the pink part, but it's gonna look really cool. So again, couple rows. I'm not painting the sides, I'm just doing the tops. Couple rows, dark pink, next one, next one, next one. Before you move on to another row though, another shade, take your brush in whatever color you just did, very, very lightly, just brush it in between the two layers, and that will help blend those two. You just wanna be very light, you don't wanna be aggressive. But if you mess up, if it doesn't look right, that's okay. This is very forgiving, and this is something you can make a lot of mistakes on and it's still gonna look good in the end because you can fix it. So here's what mine looked like, and I will show you again how to do that blending. But you can see I went from dark to light, and you can see 4 different colors in there. You can play around with that however you want it to be, but you can see it's almost white up here, super, super dark down here. And then in between those layers, I just took very, very light brush and it blended it together. If you mess up, just paint over it. But I am done with this portion now. I apologize again that I did not record that. That's on me. But we're done with this part of the project. We're gonna move on to our cork coasters. So finish up, clean up, I'll give you a second, and then we will move on to the next project. Real quick, while we're cleaning up for that and turning on our hot glue gun for the next portion, get that warmed up. Just the quick note, in order to hang this on the wall, I'm gonna put one of those command strips on the back so that it can go up there and then not typically, you know, damage the wall in any way. You can, again, display it on a table. You could put it like on a counter against a backsplash for decoration. Your choice, but I'm gonna hang it, put that strip on, and not worry about damaging the wall. So, okay, gonna finish cleaning up, then we'll move on. See, I went ahead and put the list of things you're gonna need for this next portion on the screen, so refer back to that as needed. But I've got my hot glue gun warming up now. I am going to be cutting my corks that I have left over. You're gonna need, I think I said like 8 to 10 for 2 coasters. And that leaves a little wiggle room too for any mistakes that you might make. But I'm going to grab my sharp knife. I just am using a paring knife because it's easier to make those smaller cuts with it. And gonna grab my ruler and mark off a 1/2 inch on the cork. So I have 1, 2, 3, and most corks are about 1 3/4 inches. Some of them are a little bit shorter. That's okay. You might not get as many sections out of it, but you should get about 3 out of just about all of them. But go go ahead and make your measurements, just mark it on there. And this is the trickiest part of the entire thing. So it's not that hard. Just take your knife and very, very gently watch your fingers. If you need to grip it like this in order to have a better grip instead of your fingertips, that's fine. And very gently try to make the straightest cut you can. And we're just gonna slice off these 1/2 inch sections, so it should come out like that. And like I said, you should get about 3 out of each cork. If you mess up, that's okay. Just grab another cork. All right, I went ahead and pre-cut most of mine, but I just wanted to show you, I'm putting a little tiny bit of pressure on there, not very much, and just kind of letting the knife do the work because I want it to be nice and smooth and not jagged, so I'm not sawing at it. All right, so I have my corks ready to go. I'm using about 14 in mine. And here's where you can get a little creative. So I didn't know what shape I was going for. I didn't know what I wanted. I just kind of placed them and glued them. So I made whatever this shape is, but I'm gonna make another one similar to this. But basically lay out your shape, just like with the hearts, lay it out how you want it, kind of get an idea of what you want to do. And you can trace it, ahead of time, but I got this wonky little piece of cardboard to put on the back, and it does not look good, but you're not gonna see it. It's gonna be sitting like that. So just a backing to, you know, keep it sturdy. But this is a little different in that I'm not gonna be gluing them to the cardboard necessarily. I'm gonna be attaching them to each other. So this is where you wanna be really careful with your glue gun. I definitely got burned like 3 or 4 times when I was doing the other one, but I have learned how to do it a little bit better. All right, so I have my pattern laid out, and just gonna start gluing. But first, okay, once you have it laid out, sorry, I was just getting it ready. You can kind of see like, all right, this one wasn't cut as well, and it's got a little bump from where the opener got it. So that's where the sandpaper comes in. And there's so many uses for sandpaper. It doesn't have to be just on wood, and this is a really good example. So just to smooth it out, I'm just gonna keep the sandpaper flat on the table and just rub it like that. It's easier to mess up and to hurt yourself if you're trying to do it in the air. So try to do it on a nice flat surface. Okay, that's better. And I have one more that needs a little help. So I'll just kind of even that out. And maybe you're a lot better at cutting them than I am, but I had a lot of mistakes. All right, now is where we start gluing. So hopefully your gun is hot by now. And just go ahead and put 2, this is how I burn myself, so be super careful. Like a little line on the cork, just on the side, and then I'm going to start attaching them to one another. Now, I did learn it is better to have them on the surface than in your fingers because they slipped. That's when the glue got me. So start out with them in your finger just to get those first ones, and then just start going at it. Start layering them. And see this? You can do it this way, just be very careful. I need constant reminders for that because I'm that person. Hopefully you're being safe and you don't have any incidences like I did. My husband was kind of laughing at me because every few seconds I was going, ah. Just be careful. All right, I'm gonna finish this part I'm gonna let you finish that, and then we'll come back and do the finishing touches. So whatever shape you plan on, you should post them, because I'm very excited to see where people went with both the heart or different shape and the coasters. So I will get to it. So I have them glued together in my funny little shape, whatever it is. And I went ahead and cut a little piece of cardboard for the backing. Doesn't have to look good. You're not gonna see it. Don't worry about that. And it's gonna cover it about that much. See how they stick out a little bit? I'm gonna go ahead and just put glue all over it. Watch your fingers. And set it on very gently, and then press, and then flip it over and press a little bit from the top just to make sure it stays. All right, so that's going to secure it. You're not really gonna see it when it's sitting on a table, but you can stop here. You're welcome to stop here, but I will show you just a couple ways you can customize. You can do, first of all, circle, square, I mean, if you're feeling ambitious, shapes like stars and things like that. But there's mine. Now I'm gonna take some twine and wrap it around, and it's gonna end up looking kind of like that. So it just hides the size of the corks. It makes it just, you know, a little more fun and dresses it up a little bit. You can also paint them, kind of like how I showed you on the others. You can do, you know, any sort of design that you want. You can paint, you know, letters on there, anything like that. Up to you, but I'm just gonna wrap them, keep it simple, and that's how it's going to end up looking. And that fits, let's see, this was, I said 14. It fits like a standard mug or cup. So take your twine, if you're doing it this way, put a little dab of glue on one of the corks and just set this here. I have a little piece of cardboard to help me push it down so I don't burn myself again. I'm just really bad at this. I don't know if anyone else is like that, where you just burn yourself like every time. It's probably just me. All right, so once that dries a little bit, gently start to wrap it until you kind of pass over that to tighten it a little more. So I'm just gonna do this a couple of times, and when we're all done, the sides will be totally covered. So let me do that. And at the end, when you're ready, cut the string, put another little dab of glue and press it down with your little extra piece, and then we will have our final product. So give me a second to do this, and I will show you when I'm done. I'm done. Both of them are done. You can use more corks and make more, it's up to you. You can wrap a ribbon around them. You can make it festive and do, you know, different color ribbons for different seasons. But those are your very simple corks, coasters. So just to review, ombre style, everything is listed at the beginning if you missed it and if I talk too fast. And same with this. Those are your two cork coasters. And I just wanted to show you before I go a sample of the letters. Now for our wedding, I decided for the sign-in table, whatever you call it, to do big cork letters of our initials, A and B. And I did not realize just how many corks it was going to take. So I enlisted the help of my mom and her fellow teacher friends and my friends, and they got together their Ziploc bags of corks and came through for me. So these are my massive wedding letters, and they actually still hang up in our room. But it took a little bit of time, but it's the same concept. It's just that backing, and if you have any really bendy parts, like this one, I just added little extra pieces of cardboard to keep it from bending. Now, over the years, they do fall off here and there. Something will come loose. Just hot glue it. Pretty easy. But these are the massive cork letters that I made. Hopefully you feel creative and you can make something like this or other shapes and things and post them on the page so we can see them all. So thank you again for joining me for this. I had a lot of fun doing it and I didn't get burned once. Have a good one, everybody. See you next time.